A corporation is a legal entity that is separate and distinct from its owners. It has legal rights and obligations similar to an individual. It can enter into contracts, loan, hire employees, pay taxes, and many more. It is formed by at least 5, but not more than 15 individuals called incorporators. Though it is generally more costly to put up a corporation than a sole proprietorship or partnership, many growing businesses do incorporate because of its numerous advantages. First of all, unlike in partnerships and sole proprietorships, the risk and liability is only limited to the corporation itself. The personal assets of the shareholders are protected from the debts incurred by the corporation. In addition, it is easier to raise capital in a corporation, and continuity of the business is assured given that the ownership may be passed to different individuals. If you're currently a business owner, or at least aspiring to be one, or you're involved in a partnership, you may consider incorporating your business in the future. If you're curious on how to register a corporation in the Philippines, then you should definitely watch this. The very first step is to register your corporation on the government body regulating the securities industry, the Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC. In doing so, you need to secure the following requirements: name verification slip from SEC, articles of incorporation and bylaws, treasurer's affidavit, and a joint affidavit from 2 incorporators. The process of registering on SEC is as follows. Step 1. Verify or reserve proposed business name. If the proposed name is allowed by the system, the reservation and confirmation notice is printed and can be acquired. 100 pesos shall be paid for a 30-day reservation fee. Under normal conditions, this process only takes 10 minutes. Step 2. Present articles of incorporation and bylaws at the Green Lane Unit Registration Division, found on the ground floor of the Secretariat Building, PICC Complex. You have to pay the following fees. The filing fee, which is equivalent to 1/5 of 1% of the authorized capital, but not less than 2,000 pesos. Research fee, which is 1% of the filing fee, and 1,010 pesos as a registration fee. Usually, this process takes about 10 to 20 minutes. Step 3. Pay the filing fee at the cashier located at the ground floor, Secretariat Building, PICC Complex. Upon the receipt of the application, the CPRD staff shall generate the Certificate of Incorporation bearing the SEC registration number and Unified Registration Report. This process usually takes about 5 minutes. Step 4. Present official receipt to releasing unit, ground floor, Secretariat Building, PICC Complex, to get the Certificate of Incorporation. The duration of this step is about 5 minutes. Just take note that all applications and supporting documents must be in 4 copies and an A4 size bond paper with a cover sheet. In addition, all applications must indicate the tax identification number of the incorporators, directors, and shareholders. Now, you have secured your Certificate of Incorporation. It is the right time to move on to the next step in establishing a corporation. The second step is to secure barangay clearance. The documentary requirements that you'll be needing in this step are the Certificate of Registration from SEC, which is the result of the previous step, and a proof of address like a land title of the place where you will build your corporation, along with a tax declaration. All you need to do to obtain a barangay clearance is go to the barangay hall, ask for an application form, and then fill it out. Submit the duly completed form along with requirements. Wait for the assessment of your application. This may take about 15 to 30 minutes. After this, you have to get the assessed application and pay the necessary fees, which may vary depending on the barangay. Submit the paid application and wait for the release. Some barangays release clearances within the day of application, while others may set a different schedule for the releasing of clearances. With your barangay clearance being secured, you can now proceed to the third step. Getting a business permit from the Office of the Mayor is the third step in order to successfully register a corporation. Because different cities and municipalities all over the Philippines may vary their procedures on getting a business permit, I will be only assuming a specific city in order to illustrate properly the process involved in this step. This process is specifically being implemented on the city of Makati. The following documents will be needed to get a business permit: certificate of registration from SEC and barangay clearance, which are the product of steps 1 and 2, articles of incorporation approved by SEC, tax declaration, public liability insurance, residence certificate CNC1, fire safety inspection certificate, and a locational clearance. The following procedure must be followed. First step: go to the business permits office, located at the ground floor of the new Makati City Hall building, and ask for an application form. Then, proceed to the engineering department at the 6th floor and then evaluate your annual inspection fees for building, electrical, plumbing, mechanical, and other requirements. Submit your application form and requirements to the business permits office. After this, go to the business tax division for the release of your application form. Pay the necessary fees based on your billing assessment. Make sure to secure an official receipt. Next to this is to go to health department to get health or sanitation certificate at the 7th floor. Finally, go back to the business permits office to get mayor's permit and approved permit or license. The last step in establishing a corporation is to register it with the Bureau of Internal Revenue or BIR. The following requirements will be needed in doing so: certificate of incorporation from SEC, land title, mayor's permit, and barangay clearance. The process of the registration is as follows: accomplish BIR Form 1903, application form, BIR Form 0605, payment form, and BIR Form 2000, documentary stamp tax on subscription. These forms are available on the official website of BIR. Go to the Revenue District office and look for the officer of the day. He will be the one to assess how much to pay for your registration. Submit your forms along with the requirements to the officer. After this, go to accredited banks and submit assessed BIR Form 06, 05 and 2000. Pay the necessary fees. Then, go back to the RDO and go to the registration section for the receiving of your application and give your BIR Form 1903, photocopy of paid BIR Form 06, 05, 2000, and mayor's permit. Wait for the release of your certificate of registration. After this, make sure to purchase book of accounts needed during the operation at the corporation, like the journal, ledger, cash receipts, and cash disbursements. Register these book of accounts on the registration section by submitting your book of accounts together with BIR Form 1905. Then, apply for authority to print or ATP by submitting an accomplished BIR Form 1906, a photocopy of the certificate of registration, together with paid BIR Form 0605. The last process is to wait for the printing of your official receipts. This may take 1 to 2 weeks to be printed. And that's it. You now have a legally registered and recognized corporation. All you have to do now is to focus on operating your business. I wish you good luck.